Okay, everybody. So glad to be introducing Mac. Can you all hear me okay? Great. Okay. Linda Nussbaum was going to help me, but she happens to be traveling in Paris and eating incredibly good food with Bennett right now. So she sends her regards and thanks and asked me to fully introduce Mac. So I'm going to put up a slide here, and then the way this will operate is, of course, Mac's in Nigeria, and sometimes the internet can be a little sketchy. So I'm going to run each slide, and then Mac will just tell me next slide. So I'll do the first 3 slides as introduction, and then turn it over to Mac to tell me what the next slide will be, and he'll do the commentary. Okay, so let's see. I will go to screen share. I don't think we have any sound on it, but I will. No, there's no sound. I won't share sound. Okay. Can everybody see the opening slide here with Mac? Okay, good. All right. So Macdavis is a Cameroonian living and working in Nigeria as a radio presenter, and a number of you have been on his wonderful show, Radio Sapientia, 95.3 FM, Onitsha. He presents a Make a Difference show, which he's going to be talking about today. Weekend Bliss, a lighthearted show of music etiquette, and a segment known as Blue Ribbons Inspiration. On Blue Ribbons Inspiration, people making a difference in any way are interviewed. He also presents a program known as Crossroads. The program helps people who are at the crossroads by giving them advice on the way forward. He is a founder of Macdavis Charity Foundation, a charity that assists orphans. He also assists youth to learn skills and become gainfully employed. He has worked as a volunteer in Uganda, East Africa, where he tries to convince young people in the ghettos of Nateti to stop prostitution, drugs, and crime generally. So the other thing is, we're working to have Mac visit homeboys in Los Angeles in summer, so he can start a turnaround home, which is similar what the homeboys does. They help people who are drug addicts, criminals, turn around their lives, get jobs, and move forward in a positive way. So that's Macdavis, and I think sometimes that's the words about it. This is really Macdavis right here. Okay, Mac, you can just tell me you're on, and hopefully everyone can make a difference.
All right, team. I think I'll take off from here. You can keep the logo on for some time. Thank you. Good morning again, everybody. I am so glad to be here today one more time to speak on the Make a Difference project and the journey so far. I just want to ask if you can hear me clearly. Great.
Yes, Mac. Looks good.
A little introduction. I was inspired many years ago to start the movement Make a Difference project because I had seen a young man stand up and offer his seat to a pregnant woman, a story I have told many times. It inspired me to start a movement to encourage and motivate other people to also do good and make a difference every day in a little way. So in 2008, I brought together a group of people. We went to a secondary school and we launched the Make a Difference project. And the whole concept was to encourage people to do good. We came up with a logo, which is a candle, and a motto, which is one candle will not expel the darkness, but it will make a difference. This motto was inspired by a Chinese saying, instead of cursing the darkness, light one candle. So we came up with our own. And the whole idea is do a little good. We may not change all the darkness or all the badness in the world, but some little good is like lighting one candle. And even though it will not expel the darkness, it will make a difference. So that is that for introduction. Our logo is a lighted candle because it represents doing some good in our world. We will now move to our second photo team. This man is a pioneer of the Make a Difference project. His name is Osita. At the time we launched the Make a Difference project, he was vice principal of a secondary school, and that is where we did the launching. So he went around with us to other schools. We speak to students. We tell them to do some little good every day in a little way. It could be something as simple as giving your seat to an elderly person or opening a door for another to pass, little things like that. So he's been faithful, he's been always with us and remains a good volunteer for our cause. We'll move on to the next. This is a good old friend of mine. He is an American missionary back in America now. His name is Greg Becker. Many years ago, he was working in Nigeria as a missionary, and we became friends. And when he knew what we were doing, going around, speaking to young people, encouraging them to make a difference in any way, he said, I love this and I want to be part of it. I will volunteer to follow you wherever you want to go as long as I am around. And he did just that. He went with us to schools and youth groups to speak to students on the importance of showing love in our world. So Greg Becker is back in America now. Let's move on. One of the things we do is to take care of orphans. We realize that it is not just about going to schools or youth groups or speaking on radio. We have to do something. So we agreed that we would be raising funds and then we would buy things and support orphanages. I cannot speak about orphans without mentioning a woman, Arcadia Love. She is in Australia. We met online. Coincidentally, at that time, she had a charity known as the Make a Difference Project. And so we connected. We became friends. We were sharing ideas. I got to know that she was supporting some orphanages and doing many good things. We became friends. Now, when we came together as the Make a Difference Project in Nigeria, some people suggested that we should write to international organizations asking for money to do things. And I said, no, we don't write to anybody to ask for money. We try to raise money from our salaries and from whatever we can do and inspire people to raise things, foodstuff, clothes, and so on. So we give to the orphans. But like I said before, this name, Arcadia Love, the Australian woman, when we became friends, I did not ask her for any financial support. I don't do that because already people know Nigeria as a country where many young people get involved in scam and try to get money from here and there. So I did not want to be seen as one of such people who come up with an organization and start asking for money. So we just did our thing our own way. But when I met Arcadia, we became friends and we were only sharing ideas. I think I was the first person to send her a gift. That is when the post office in Nigeria was still good. Today, I will not send anything through the post office because it is not working well. Anyway, some year, Arcadia asked me, Mark, what will you love me to do for your birthday? And I said, if you would buy me a laptop, I would teach orphans free of charge. I would give computer knowledge to orphans free of charge. And she did that. Indeed, when she went to the post office, Western Union, I beg your pardon, when she went to Western Union to send the money to me, after filling the form, the cashier looked at her and said, are you aware you are sending this money to a man in Nigeria? And she said, yes, I am aware he is in Nigeria, and I know what people think about Nigerians, but I know this man. Indeed, he is not the one who asked for the money. I am the one who decided to send the money to him. So that woman, Arcadia, has played a major role in supporting my project in helping orphans. And I'm glad I remembered to mention her. All right, so Tim, we can move on to the next slide. So assisting orphanages is not just about giving them food and clothes and shoes. Sometimes I spend time with them. Sometimes we spend time with them because they lack a fatherly figure in their lives. They see about the same people come around, give them one or two things and go away. So some weekends, we make out time, we stay with them, we play with them, we sing with them, we dance with them, and we make them feel happy. So these are some children of one of the motherless homes, one of the orphanages we go to. And they all look so happy. They are also happy when we come around. Our time is also something we can sacrifice. We can sacrifice our time to give joy to people, especially the ones who are lonely. So these ones, we spend time with them now and then as part of our own support. All right, we move on now, Brother Tim. 2019, I received some money from Australia from my friend Arcadia Law. And she said, Mark, take this money. I know you will decide whatever you want to do with it, whatever good you want to do with it. I went with the money into a supermarket and I bought the things I know children like, foodstuff, noodles, milk, chocolate for breakfast, and then detergent to wash their clothes, bathing soap, little things like that. And we donated to the Red Cross orphanage in Nigeria, Onitsha, Nigeria. Here I am with the director of the center, the manager of the center, and some of the children. So I will always be grateful to Arcadia Law for her support. All right, we'll move on now to the next slide. This young woman in red, her name is Ifunanya. Ifunanya in the Nigerian language, known as Igbo, means love. She is a member of the board of trustees of the Macdavis Charity Foundation. Her birthday is 24th of September. Mine is 26th of September. So around that time, every year, we try to raise books, shoes, and so on to assist indigent children and orphanages. Here, she is with some students or some pupils with some of the books we brought to share to them. That was last year. We were able to raise books, pencils, and shoes for some indigent children who could not afford more than a pair of shoes. So we did raise all those, and we went to primary school to donate to the indigent children. Let's move on, brother team. Here you can see my colleague giving out shoes to some of the children in the primary school. So we cannot give to everybody. We can only light one candle, even though it will not expel the darkness, yet it will make a difference. So we choose the very poor and we give them another pair of shoes. The ones who have only one pair, we give them a new pair of shoes. All right, we move on now, brother. You can see two pupils here with their new shoes. If you notice also, they have blue ribbons on their shoulders, just like I have on mine. Now, when we give gifts to these children, we also let them know that who they are makes a difference. So we speak to them, we encourage them not to give up, to have hope, to trust that provision will come their way, and tomorrow they will also be great people, and when they become great, they should also take care of others. So we honor them with a blue ribbon and inspire them to move on. We also give them 2 extra so that they can also honor somebody. It could be their father, it could be their mother, it could be their teacher, whosoever. So that is it. I try to combine my work as Macdavis Charity Foundation and as an ambassador of Blue Ribbons worldwide. All right, so we can move on now. Well, more students, more pupils with their blue ribbons, and at least one of them holding his own shoes. So this is a primary school called New Bethel, Onitsha, and the kids were very happy when they had extra pairs of shoes and had some books and pencils and other little stuff. All right, we move on. Here I am. The young man beside me, his name is Edwin. He is also a member of the board of trustees of the Macdavis Charity Foundation. Edwin is a mechanic. So young boys who have nothing to do, when they stay idle, they think evil, they get into crime and so on. So we convince some of them to learn how to repair cars. Maybe in America, to become a mechanic, you've got to go to a university. It's different here. Here, you can stay with a master who knows the job, and then he teaches you over a period of time. And he supervises you as you do small work until you know how to repair cars. So Edwin does that. There are some boys who are with him and he trains them on how to repair cars. That's our only little way of helping young people to become gainfully employed. Because at the end of it all, they work with him for some time and then they go out to start their own little workshop. All right, we'll move on to the next slide. Here is Edwin, right there in the middle with the sky blue t-shirt. He is here with some of the boys under our charity foundation who are learning skills under our charity foundation. So he teaches them free of charge how to repair cars. And that is own contribution to helping the society become a better place. All right, we can move on, brother team. A couple of years ago, I volunteered. I went to Uganda to work as a volunteer. The Australian friend I had mentioned before, Arcadia, and her niece, Tamara Walker, who also has a charity, they mentioned the work going on in Uganda with one of their friends who has a turnaround home. young girls and young boys from the ghetto who are into prostitution and crime of different sort, they are into drugs, they live a wild life. People convince them to live that way of life and join the turnaround home. I heard about it and I said, wow, I would like to be part of this project for a while and also learn how I can start one in Nigeria. So I went to Uganda to work as a volunteer. Here, you can see me speaking to these young people. I have to speak to them with an interpreter because many of them did not go to school. They did not go to school because of poverty. And so even though English is the official language of Uganda, most of the young people don't know how to speak English. So I had to speak to them using an interpreter. And I am glad we were able to take some of them from the ghetto to join the turnaround home. And I am still in touch with some of them, and they are doing just fine. All right, we move on to the last, I should think. These are some young people in Uganda from the ghetto of Natete. What we did is we go to the ghetto, go to the brothels. We see a young woman who is at the brothel. We invite you as if we want to spend some time with you. We agree on a price you will be paid, and then we take you to a place where we can sit and share a drink and talk. That is when I will tell them, what you are doing is not right, but first tell me why you are doing this. Some no jobs, some poverty, some no capital to start a business. What else do? We have to sell our bodies to make money. And I tell them this is bad because you don't even know me. I could take you anywhere and kill you and harvest your organs and sell. I could be somebody who is involved in black diabolic magic, and I use your human parts for demonic sacrifices. So you don't do this. Look, there is a turnaround home. If you are interested, we'll meet every Friday. We'll talk to you. We'll tell you the benefits. Some of them agree. Some of them do not. The ones who agreed joined the turnaround home. And after some time, they are either given some kind of job or they are given some money to start a little business. And that is the same project I am about to start in Nigeria. We are doing it already, but not yet in a very organized way. We shall get there. All right, team, I should think that is the last slide. You can now bring me back to the center. Make a difference. It's not about the organization. It's a concept. It's about doing good in a little way every day. And so we encourage people to do good, but we set the pace. We do little good things, and we also encourage others. You are part of this concept because you are making a difference in your own little way. And one good way to do it is to encourage others to also do the same by sharing some beautiful stories of good things people have done. Recently, a lot of young people will come to the office to beg for money. Oh, help us. Oh, help us. And I tell them, there are many things you can do to make money. There are some things you can do without needing much capital. Recently, not very recent, but sometime last year, we came up with this. Now, this is a drink from a species of hibiscus. It has a name, a botanical name, I can't remember, but it's a species of hibiscus. The leaves are sold dry and it's quite cheap. We buy them and we tell young people, Now that things are very expensive in Nigeria, soda is very expensive, soft drinks are very expensive. We encourage them to make this. And then I have a deep freezer in the house. I refrigerate them, and then they pick them up and hawk in different places just around. And they make lots of gains from it. Tim, I just want to be sure all is moving fine. You can hear me?
I can hear you really well, Mac. It's coming through great. You're doing well.
All right. So we encourage young people. Don't say there are no jobs. Don't get into crime. Don't get into terrible things because you think there are no jobs. We give them ideas and support them. Indeed, making this drink is not expensive. A good quantity is about $1. And when you boil it, you don't need to add sugar. We use dates to sweeten it. And then we announce to people, we have to tell people, oh, this is natural, no artificial sweetenings. And the business is doing good. The young people are making some small gains for themselves. So that is one way we are trying to get young people out of the streets and getting them gainfully employed. Now, one may ask, why one moment you talk about Make a Difference project, and the other moment you talk about Macdavis Charity Foundation? It's the same. We were founded as Make a Difference project, and we were not bothered to be registered with the government. We were just doing our work. But then we realized that if we must live on forever, if this charity must live on forever, we have to get organized, get registered. And so when we went for registration, there were so many other projects with similar names. So we were asked to choose another name. And to cut a long story short, Macdavis Charity Foundation was chosen. That is why we are called Macdavis Charity Foundation today, but we still refer to our work as Make a Difference project. Now, this work we are doing must continue. You know, most times somebody comes up with an organization, and while he is alive, everything moves on fine because he is there to direct and to guide. But many years after, when he is gone, if a structure has not been created, that idea, all those good works gradually fades away. And that's why we are planning, we are working, we are dreaming of having a turnaround home, as we have spoken about ever so often. This turnaround home will help continuity. It will not just be a place where young people come and they are trained. It will be like an office where we keep records. If you are trained and you are doing something, you can come back and make a little donation to the organization so that we can help other people, you know, and then it's a circle. We give you some training, you are gainfully employed, you donate to the organization, we help other people, and then it goes on and on. So that years after, when we are not there, it continues, the circle continues, and more people, generation after generation, will benefit. Just like Homeboys has been established, and it will live on forever. I would not want to go on and on. At this point, I would like to say, today is a special day. I am celebrating many anniversaries. It's my birthday. It's my first anniversary of being a part of Mastery Circle International. It is the 15th anniversary of the Make a Difference project. So it's a day of celebration. At this point, I would like to appreciate every single member of Mastery Circle Los Angeles and Mastery Circle International. I am ever so grateful that I am part of this organization. Many of you have supported me in many different ways, through your ideas, through your corrections, through your directions, financially and otherwise. I am most grateful. You are all aware that Linda and Sam are working hard to see that I come to Los Angeles to learn some more on starting a turnaround home. I am grateful to them. I am grateful to Sam and Mary Grace Gleason, because through me, we are providing every month to an orphanage. They have different forms of provisions, different things they receive every month through the kindness and regular donation of Sam and Mary Grace. We appreciate you and we say, may the good Lord in heaven continue to reward and reimburse you a millionfold. Thank you for all you have done to support the orphans. I will gradually round off. Like I said earlier, it is a concept, the Make a Difference project, and you are all part of this concept because you have all been making a difference. You can help us. When I come to a close of this talk, you can help us with some of your stories. In any way you can send them. Even if you want to share them right now or some, positive, good things people have done. For the remaining minutes, we can share all that. People will read or people will listen to these stories when they, in the future, when they watch YouTube, and it will also make a difference. Please, if you can speak about the work we do to individuals, to organizations, especially charity organizations that can help support us in any way to establish a turnaround home, we will be most grateful. We want to just have a simple structure which we believe will grow with time. We are people who do our things in a little way, small, just little way, one little candle, one little light, but it makes a difference. I thank you very sincerely for having trusted me and for always giving me opportunities to share my work with you. I will take a pause now, and if you have contributions, comments, questions, I'll be glad to take them. Thank you so much for your very kind attention.
Thank you, Mac. Always inspired by you and your work. And I'll lead this off since I don't see a question up there right now. I'll call on people to direct them to you. My question, I see you, Tim. My question, Mac, is I went to the website under donation and I see phone numbers and email address. What I don't see is an automatic way that somebody could make a pledge, like an ongoing monthly gift. And I'm aware that I'm in another organization that has that set up. It's called Give Butter. And it makes it easy to just send even $10 a month or anything in an automated way. Is that anything that you either have or would be interested in creating to allow donations to flow in?
Okay, that we don't have for now. I am not so very good with mechanics, but maybe I could ask Mary Grace some questions. I know she's very good with these things, and she could advise me on what to do. Much later.
Yeah, we had thought about that, Thomas, and I can try again. Because it's Nigeria, Western Union has been the only way that we could get funds to MAC. But once it's set up, it's very easy on a monthly basis there. But I'll look into, again, doing the give button because I know that would be helpful for people. If anybody individually wants to donate to MAC, you can set it up through our Western Union account if you'd like to.
Thank you.
Okay, if I may just come in here, everyone. Yes, Western Union is fine. And then we also have MoneyGram, which is also very okay over here in Nigeria. And all you need is the basic information, the name of the person or organization, and the location. Then you send the person, they call it, the control number, and that will be fine.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Anybody else? Whitney, go ahead. Oh, Tim, you were next, and then Whitney.
Yes, I just want to give a little background on Mac coming to Los Angeles. We tried it last summer. He was scheduled to come late July, August timeframe to go to Homeboys, where they have a global network meeting. Hundreds of people come from all over to Homeboys to learn to set up an Homeboys-like operation, which is what Mac's turnaround home is. So we were accumulating some money on a GoFundMe page, and then Mac went to check, and because it's Nigeria, they said, "Oh, well, we can't even entertain your visit and a visa and so forth until 2025." You know, it's like, wow. I would just love it if we all get behind trying to get him here in 2024, not 2 years from now. And my thought was, and if anybody has any ideas on this, my thought was, if we could approach some political figure that, you know, a senator, you know, congressman, even the embassy, and see if we can't get a little pressure and explain, you know, this is just not a normal Nigerian coming in. He's going to do the turnaround home and give some background and so forth. So I'd like you all to align. I would love to get him here this coming summer when they hold the, you know, the Homeboys Global Network again. So I just want to put that out there. And if any of you have any ideas, have any contacts, have anyone you can write, let's make it a group effort to see if we can push that up into next summer rather than 2025.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank
Whitney?
you, Tim.
Whitney, go ahead.
This sounds like an editorial wanting to be written for, I don't know, there's got to be a Nigerian community in Los Angeles. And if an editorial is written to that community in Los Angeles or to the general public explaining Mac's foundation and the journey, Homeboys, all that, I bet there would be interest. In fact, I mean, it sounds like it's a news story for local do-gooders internationally, that where LA people could make a difference, that, you know, it could get to, it needs to be a story like on a news channel, a local news channel or a small or anywhere. And Bill, it's probably be good at writing an editorial letter. See if I can get published.
I'm game.
Great, there you go. At the outreach. And also, Bill, don't you have a radio station or something? Or radio?
Mac has a radio show.
But that's just in Nigeria, right? It's not in America, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Mm-hmm.
And I just come in here. We can't really blame the American embassy for what they do. We can't blame them because people have done some crazy things in the past. Number one, Nigeria is made up of over 200 people. And many of them want to go to America, you know, the land of milk and honey. And sometimes they come as visitors and do not come back. And they start looking for asylum. So the American embassy is very careful in approving visas for people to come. So we don't blame them. But then I am grateful, Tim, and all of you, for any support you can give to make this dream of going to Homeboys come true. Love it.
Thanks, Mac, and happy birthday. It's good to see you this morning. I'm just wondering, given that Homeboys is affiliated or part of the organization of the Catholic Church with Boyle at the head, why could they not petition or make some kind of political noise? That's a pretty significant backbone to have. Tim, you're involved with that, and it's like that's just something that popped into my head. Why homeboys themselves could not extend an invitation specifically to Mac.
We could certainly see getting to Father Gregory Boyle is quite an object. I asked Linda about this, and we think the next best thing is to talk to the CEO down there. He's a little more approachable.
Well, yeah.
He could do it. Yeah.
Through homeboys on some level.
My hand went down.
Thank you.
Oh, there.
You see Mary Grace and Bill?
Okay.
Mary
Yeah,
Grace, go first.
yeah, it's actually Sam. We should have another hand that looks like mine. Anyway, Mac, I wanted to acknowledge what you're doing there in Nigeria. As you were speaking, at one point I flashed on Martin Luther King. Your passion and your good intentions are so powerful, and it's really wonderful. And I love the idea of, with one candle you cannot illuminate all the darkness, but it does make a difference. And I was reminded of a quote from Carl Jung, one of my favorite quotes, speaking about. He believed, well, let me just read the quote. As far as we can discern, the sole purpose of human existence is to kindle a light in the darkness of mere being. And I think that's what you're doing. And I also then flashed on Mother Teresa. We're the hands of God. God doesn't have any hands without us. Yeah. So thank you for the work you're doing there.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tim. Thank you so much. Sorry, there's Sam, rather. Talking about Mother Teresa, she has a saying which is similar to this. She has many, but there is this quote from Mother Teresa I love so much. She says, if you cannot feed one person, no, if you cannot feed 1,000 people, feed one person. So if you cannot give food to 1,000 people, 100 people, at least you should be able to give to one person, and you'll be making a difference in our world. Thank you, Sam.
Yeah.
Jasmine had her hand up too.
Bill and then Jasmine.
Okay. Thanks. I just had an idea. Maybe Homeboys invites him as a speaker. Involves putting an event together, creating an event, the framework for it, and he gets an official invitation as an international speaker, or and maybe or in conjunction with some other organizations that we know of, whatever, and they are like the co-sponsors of this event, which has been being created so that Mac can come and speak. Just a thought.
My idea is kind of similar to Bill's. I'm a board member of ICUJP, and I could see if he could be a speaker for us on a Friday morning forum, and see if we could host him that way. I can reach out to my my fellow board members to see if they would be interested in helping some kind of way. Maybe they know someone, a politician or someone that has some power to do that. And I'll ask them and see if that could be a way we could go. So I will reach out and get back with Mary Grace and Mac.
And Jasmine, you just posted 4 names in the chat. What are those for?
They're politicians: Holly Mitchell, Stephen Bradford, Heather Hutt. I get their newsletters, and so maybe they know someone or know a way that we can, like Bill said, if he can be a speaker or be a part of a big conference, so that for them to sponsor him or be on the brochure, or an organization that could be a co-sponsor for him to get here, because that's our end goal, for him to get here. So yeah.
And you want to have a comment about Godfrey the comedian?
Godfrey is Nigerian, and so maybe he knows people that are here or in Nigeria that could either fund his trip, or those people that could help, or knows he might have a network of Nigerians that are connected to MAC or to getting him here is our end goal. So he might know people in the airlines, in the transportation world, who could facilitate that. So I will reach out to him to see if he knows Mac and his foundation.
Thank you. We have 3 minutes. Mac, how do you want to use it?
Yeah, let me just, hello?
Fabulous. Great ideas, Jasmine. I hope there's follow through with that. Isn't
Okay.
a lot of oil in Nigeria? Aren't there big oil companies in Nigeria? Isn't that one of the major industries or something? I'm just asking. Is that at all? They might have philanthropic branches of their companies, like many major industries do. Is that a possibility to write a letter to them for sponsorship for something like this? Do they export to America? I don't know. I'm just throwing it.
I think the issue here is getting a visa. I think that is the main issue, because it is not so easy to get an American visa, and that's where our problem is. Anyway, we'll work on these thoughts. I'll have to round off now because I can see the time is far spent.
I want to wish you a happy birthday. I want to wish you happy birthday too, Mac. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to thank all of you for your beautiful messages, your birthday wishes, all the kind things you said generally, and those of you who sent to me privately. I thank you. I thank you for being there, for listening to me, and for this wonderful spirit of supporting, of wanting to make sure things work out well. God bless you all. Thank you.